All right, so in my last video, I know I was talking a lot about Halo 3 and my console kind of experience. And I decided to go back to PC gaming because PC gaming has always been a huge impact on my life. And this video is going to more or less be dedicated to Guild Wars because that is one of the biggest games that has had an influence on my life. But first, really quick, another big PC game that I played a lot, and it wasn't even really a PC game, browser game, was RuneScape. Ton of that. I don't even remember what level I was. I was pretty high level. Not the highest. I wasn't max, but I had like adamantium armor and everything like that. And, like, I was such a noob. I got trolled and tricked and that kind of stuff. Like, I think I gave like my adamantium pants to someone because they said they'd give me like 2 of them back or something like that. Me being an inexperienced person on the internet, I believed them, and that was not good. That did not end well. There's also like this girl that me and my friend Cullen, we met on there, and we talked a lot like through MSN Messenger with her and that kind of stuff. And us being like 13-year-old teenage boys, we're like, hey, we get stuff. We're swagging now. We'd like flirt with her, or like what we'd think would be flirting with her. And then we found out that we got her in trouble with her husband, and that ended quickly. That is something that we're not going to talk about anymore. But anyways, nothing bad happened ever from that. But from RuneScape, this is really where Nick, like I said, my best friend Nick, started to make a huge impact on my life in gaming. One day he came over and he would bike over to my house and he told me about this game called Guild Wars. And I was like, oh, that kind of sounds kind of cool and everything like that. And he installed it on my computer and we shared an account. And we played it like for 3 hours or whatever until he had to go home. His dad would come pick him up and take him home. And when he left, I continued playing, and then he got home and he wanted to play, and obviously you can't be logged on at the same time, so he got to go play. And I spent the rest of that night thinking of builds and different things about the game. I don't think I've ever been so excited about something in my life to play again. And eventually, probably after like 2 or 3 days, I more or less begged my parents to buy me a copy of this game because I didn't want to share it with Nick anymore, because I wanted to play on my own. And so I got my own account and we started to play together, and like that blew my mind that I could be playing like this game. I can see Nick's character right there walking alongside to me in this game. My first character was Arira Black Rose, as my friends like to call it, Arira Black Rose. It was literally, I took, I don't remember what it means at all, but it's Arirua Black Rose. And I like it was Arira was like something moon, I think, in Elvish or something like that. I thought I was being all like cool about it. Anyway, I mean, as far as original name goes, it was like nobody else has that name and will ever take that name unless it's one of my friends being a douchebag. But so I got that, and that was my very first character. I think Kryos, Shadowstalker was Nick's first character. I was a necromancer. I was a ranger, of course. Rangers freaking OP. They can do everything in that game. So I started playing the game. I wasn't great at it. Like, I had the guide for it, like the original guide for Guild Wars 2 by like Brady Games or something. Hey kitty, what's up? You come up? No? You going away? And like that guide was so bad. Like when you look at it and they have like the builds for it and it's a ranger build. Hey, stop. Get away from that. My cat is trying to eat plastic and that's not good for him. But my ranger, I had a ranger build, and it was using a preparation with barrage, and like back then is like I had no idea what this barrage thing was because that's elite skill and nobody knows what that is in the beginning of the game. But later on, you learn that barrage can't be used with preparations, and so that was just it was like such a bad build. And then there's the hamstring warrior, Hamstorm. That's right, it's Hamstorm. It was a warrior elementalist. And it had hamstring, which would cause cripple, and then firestorm. And the whole point of the build would be that you cripple them, and then you create a firestorm, and it would damage the enemies. It's such a bad skill because like warriors had, oh my god, blurry, holy crap, warriors had no energy, and so like they had 20 energy. Firestorm caused 15, I believe. And hamstring costs 15 energy, so this is so funny to me. And if anyone knows what I'm talking about, you'll understand that's funny too. But so it's a terrible build. But later on in the game, I know when me and Nick we would like go and we were good. Like I was good at this game. Late in its career, like I was on some of the top PvP teams, and. We would oh god, okay, whatever, we'll get to that anyway. So the beginning of it though, I didn't dabble in any PvP like whatsoever. We would just try to level up our characters, and I think I got to the Maguma jungle, and there was Riverside Province, which I think is a mission. I believe is a mission. And this is how I made my money in the game, is I was able to run that mission, and run means that I could just like literally run through the entire mission, not combating or battling anyone, and I would beat that mission for people. And so people would give me like 1,000 gold or something like that to complete that for them. And so I would run through the entire thing for them, and that was fun. It was nice. It was a way to earn money, so that way I could get better armor. And I was like level 14 at the time. I hadn't even reached the max level, which was 20. Eventually, though, I got enough money to get a little bit better armor. I think that's what I was saving money for. I don't really remember. But I was able to progress farther in the mission, or farther in the game. We got to the desert, and I beat the desert. There was so Nick was a necromancer, and these necromancers used to be so broken. Like they had a build called Minion Masters, and basically it was just you would summon these minions that would fight for you. Now they have a cap on how many minions can be out at once, but it used to be unlimited. And Nick would literally be walking, and there's like another thing that you could just like, they would constantly decay life over time. But there was another ability in which you could sacrifice like 33% of your life to give them like super regen, and you could just keep that up constantly. And so one of the missions, Nick would help run people through the game, or the mission, and literally what it was he would just walk around casting this minion spell the whole time, and everyone would more or less do the work for him. But he would have like an army of like 50 like minions just following him, just raping everything. And so I think he earned a lot of his money through that. Eventually we got to the Ring of Fire Islands, and we beat the Ring of Fire Islands. And that was so we finished the game. This was before hard mode or anything was like that. We had dabbled in PvP a little bit. I remember that Nick would play a monk, and he was level 14, and he would be competing against people like level 20. Like this was before really organized PvP. So I think once you got to Lion's Arch, you could compete in these things. And he would just be a monk, and he would just stand back, and he used heal party constantly. And just on the other side of the map, and he'd win stuff, and he'd like Nick was like, look out, this is so stupid, it's so easy, I just stand back here and heal, and then they kill everything and we win. I don't know how, but it happens. And so he did that. That was probably our first PvP experience. I would join him sometimes, not a lot though. But after we beat the game, you look for stuff to do post game. we leveled up a couple more characters. I think I had like a level 20 warrior, level 20 monk. We started unlocking a lot of skills because just to have a lot of skills unlocked is necessary to be good at any game. Apparently, I don't know. And so we started unlocking a lot of skills, and then we started to dabble in PvP more. First, it was just team arenas, random arenas. We just kind of dabble in there. We got really good at syncing up random arenas. Like random arena, you would just go into this area, you would hit enter or enter Q or whatever it was back then, and you would go in randomly with people. But if you timed it right, so you did a countdown 3, 2, 1, go, and you both hit enter at the same time, a lot of times you would end up being on the same team. And me and Nick got really, really, really good at this, and I would say 90% of the time we'd end up on the same team. And so it was kind of like, I guess that's kind of unfair because we would have 2 people on Ventrilo, which was the voice chat software back then. I think it still is. I'm pretty sure it's still kind of popular, but back then that was like our only option if we didn't want to use MSN Messenger, which we didn't. And so we would always we'd play a lot. We'd be talking to each other. We'd strategize, and we'd get really good at PvP. And like, there's so many funny Ventrilo stories. Me and Nick would always be in there, and we'd be talking away, and both of us being kind of shy. Like somebody else would come in our channel, like because we were using like some public server or something like that to talk to each other. Somebody else would come in and just like, hello, hello, hello. And like, if you're outside of our channel, you could see that we were constantly talking to each other with like the green lights coming on and everything. And somebody would come in our channel and they would say something and we'd be quiet. We like wouldn't say anything whatsoever. And we'd just be messaging each other on Gilder's be like, they're talking to us. What do we say? Just be quiet. Don't say anything. And so I'm sorry for the guildmates. If any of you are watching this, that you were like in my guild, shout out to Patrick, to Shy, to Mel, and I don't remember. Oh God, names aren't coming back to me. Goni. Shout out to you guys. You were great guildmates. I loved you. There's the Gear Trick. They actually have comics. You should go check those comics out. Gear Trick comics are really good. If you're a Guilders fan, go check those out. They're really funny.